Kevin. Welcome back. Echoes of the Timeless Truth. And to our listeners, welcome back. Thank you for joining us once again. It has been an extraordinary journey these past 7 episodes, walking alongside all of you through the themes of wisdom, identity, and the power that lives within all of us. And as we arrive at our final episode of this series, we will not only reflect on the many amazing and very deep insights that Kevin has shared with us through the Wisdom of the Ages series, but we're also going to look ahead together. Me, you, Kevin, all the transformative messages in his upcoming book, Unapologetic, along with the immersive audio experience that will accompany this first book. We're going to collectively step into the holiday season. This is a time of reflection, of gratitude, of renewal. And so we are going to explore how timeless truths can guide both Kevin's readers, that's you, every single listener who's listening right now, into a more grounded, powerful, and purpose-aligned new year. Kevin, are you up for that challenge?
All the time.
I know you are. You have been such a great sport throughout this series. You've been so generous with all of us, and I've really loved getting to know you. I'm sad this is the last episode, but it's not over, right? This is just the end of this series. Kevin is very much just getting started. So on that note, Wisdom of the Ages, it really calls readers into a journey of self-discovery. It is rooted in timeless truths. As we close off this podcast series, what core message from the book do you feel the world most urgently needs to hear today as we head into a new year?
Well, we often hear a slogan that I always often say, the mantra, kind of like the saying, we are the culture we create. At the very entrance of that sentence, it's we, you, Sam, me, Kevin, or John, Jacob, Daniel, Joseph, the truck driver, the accountant. This individual, your heartbeat is what gives this life. Your heartbeat is what makes it valuable. Your heartbeat is what makes it important, is what brings the value out of it. Doesn't matter where you are, we are the culture we create. It doesn't matter how far, how tall, how skinny, how short you are. We all the same people. We bleed the same blood, right?
Mm-hmm. We are the culture we create. We have heard that come up in past episodes. I believe we're going to get it on a t-shirt sooner than later,
Yes.
Which I would love to rock. So which one of the themes that we have really been sharing throughout this series, we've confronted fear, we've confronted limiting beliefs, we have helped people rediscover their inner greatness.
Yeah.
Which of those themes do you find resonates the most when you are having actual conversations, when you get to meet your fans, your readers, your listeners? Which theme resonates most?
I think fear.
Mm.
I say fear because a lot of people, from what I've come to realize, they have accepted something and they're regurgitating it throughout our society as if it is their own. And if you're really listening through the disconnect of the connection, that you realize that a lot of these people are very afraid of actually venturing off onto truly discovering themselves and accepting themselves. They're too afraid of looking like the oddball or the black sheep or the difference maker, the shaker or the breaker of rules, which has nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? Being unique, being yourself you should never be afraid of it. But too many times we're more afraid of being ourselves than anything else. We're afraid to be honest with what it is that we want or what it is that we don't want. What makes us cry, what makes us feel discouraged, or whatever it may be. Because beyond fear, there's another door behind it. And once that door opens, you're unstoppable.
I love that you said we're scared to be ourselves, but on the other side of that door is waiting for us, like, this amazing life where you can really feel unstoppable. I know you've shared it a few times in our series, but like, what part of yourself were you scared to step into that now you fully embrace and you feel empowered by?
You know, I think as a child, there are many things that came up in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after the first time I actually spoke my mind, they told me, you shouldn't say that or you shouldn't do that.
Okay.
So because of that, I was conditioned, or we are conditioned, to kind of like shrink amongst the society because we're too afraid to say what it is that's on our mind. And yeah, it is true that there are things that shouldn't be said in our society,
Yep.
but there are things that are inside of you that if you don't say them, you'll never truly become who you are.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think so many people overlook that, right? That like you use the term royal identity, right?
Mhm.
That's like a term you use in the book, and this recognition of your like inner worth and your purpose and your inherent worth, which is very similar to what we're talking about right now, like stepping into your power, into who you really are. Why do you believe so many people overlook this identity and just kind of dismiss it and put it aside and don't embrace who they really are?
I think we forfeit it. There's a saying in Haiti, "Demet gangum basaf." I may be hungry, but I'm not starving.
Mm,
Um, but for a piece of bread or a little bit of time at the table or a little bit of acceptance or a little bit of approval, we forfeit it, right? We give it up just to be accepted, failing to realize that acceptance is not final, it's not definite. Being accepted and approved is not it's not the end of the world, and it's not the best thing for you. Just because you're accepted doesn't mean that you're doing right.
mm.
Doesn't mean that you're going the right way. So it's okay to be rejected from time to time because maybe the right people are waiting to accept you.
I can relate to that so much. And I think that is a really great segue to your upcoming book, which is all about being unapologetic. And it's going to arrive right around Christmas in time for the holidays, which is a season that is filled with meaning, of celebration, but it also can be a really big time of introspection. It's the end of a new year, the
Yeah.
start of a new chapter. People are taking in how the year has gone, measuring up against the standards they had held for themselves and what they wanted for the year. How does the theme of living unapologetically align with the spirit of the holidays?
Well, when we think about the spirit of the holidays, right? That Christianity and Islam are probably the most prominent during this particular period of time, and Judaism. You know what I mean? So, but I think the holidays are not so much about your religion. I think it has more to do along the times of celebrating family time, celebrating what's truly important. People exchange gifts, but we don't exchange gifts just because, hey, I got you something cool. No, I appreciate you. And I want you to know that I was thinking about you. But the way that I can do so is by showing you the gift that I got you. Now, when I say that, that sounds different as opposed to it's Christmas, Christmas morning. But when you think about sitting at the dinner table next to the Christmas tree or whatever it is, or however you celebrate the holidays, it's about spending time with your mother and father, your brothers and sisters, your nieces and nephews, your neighbors, um, even sometimes with people you don't know, but the love is mutual, the respect is mutual. And I think during these holiday times, I remember my first Christmas that I got married to my wife, and we were homeless.
Hmm.
And I'll never forget it. What we did for that Christmas day is we were playing cards together, and we're eating Cheetos. So we were sitting down and we were sharing these things. Being unapologetic has everything to do with understanding who you are, understanding where you are, understanding the purpose and the weight and the magnitude of the struggle you have, but not allowing it to deprive you of seeing what is actually valuable. So, yeah, you may be struggling with something. Some of you may be alone. And it's very prominent. You might not even have a tree at your house. You might not even have a roof over your head. But the moment that you allow your circumstance to stop you from smiling is the day that you've lost.
Hmm. Just letting
So
that sit there. Yeah.
it's for me it's wonderful to see that you may believe in something. What you believe in, you won't know if it stands on anything until dark times come before you to expose the truth.
Yeah. And I
So
appreciate you sharing that
mhm.
period of time for yourself where it was emotionally heavy, because we get to see Kevin now, who seemingly has so much to be grateful for and so much going for him. And you do, you really do, Kevin. I hope when you do your reflections at the end of this year, you feel really proud at the year you've had, because our listener has been able to have a peek into what you've accomplished this year. And it's amazing. But you're right. Like, the holidays can be an emotionally heavy period for some
Yeah,
people.
it's very matter of fact, that's where a lot of mental breakdowns start to happen because
Okay.
the pressure of going out, oh, I gotta buy this, I gotta buy that, or I gotta go into this store because time is running out. And but we forget that it's really not about that. It's about what's inside of you and what you choose to share with others. And me writing the book Wisdom of the Ages, Unapologetic, they just so happened to fall at the time of the holidays and releasing during that time. But they're directly in line with the way that I've learned my journey. So if I share Wisdom of the Ages, I put it on a shelf. Guess what? That was the primary thing that I've always been pursuing ever since I was young. I'm choosing to give it to you. I chose to give it to you because I believe that if it has changed me, I believe it will definitely change you.
Hmm. And for those who happen to just be tuning in on episode 7, Kevin originally started writing for his children as a way to pass on wisdom to them. And you have since expanded that audience to the world, which we are so grateful for. Thank you. How do you envision this upcoming audiobook really helping listeners experience these timeless principles in a more intimate or immersive way, specifically through audio?
Um, so for me, it's remember I said a couple series back, I would love to talk to everyone in the world.
Yep.
I would love to talk to every man, every woman, every doesn't matter who you are. I want to talk to you. But I think the fact that the audiobook is coming out, I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool, so imperative to the journey and the impact that I'm trying to do because I get a chance to be between your ears. I get a chance to be inside of your head when my words are coming to life. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that to mislead you. I'm saying that more along the lines that I remember having these conversations with my mentor and I was able to talk to him. I don't have that opportunity, but I have a chance to talk to you. And to talk to you, I think it's important. It's important for me to talk to you as well as it is important for you to listen to me. not for my sake, not for your sake, but the sake of the civilization of the communities that we live in.
Absolutely. And it also just creates a new way for people to access your work. I mean, I think we've also talked in the past episodes of not everybody has the gift of being able to read,
Hmm.
especially people who are in different languages.
Hmm.
Listening to something also allows you to reach more people. Right? Reach
Yeah,
people of all the ages.
yeah, yeah.
We started with your children. You know, I can see people, children from the ages of 4, 5, 6 years old listening to this, all the way to seniors who are
Absolutely.
thinking about the wisdom at the end of their life that they might want to pass on, and you
Yeah,
might
yeah.
inspire them.
It it's so funny you mentioned children because I think this holidays was like a beautiful holidays for me. I'm always grateful for everything that I've encountered and experienced, but I think I was reminded of a teacher I had, and the name of this I won't mention the name of the school because I remember the name of the school at a young age, and I remember her mentioning to my mother, "I think something is wrong with your son." I remember her mentioning that, and my mom went crazy on it. Said, "Who do you think you are?"
Yeah.
He said, "There's nothing wrong with my son." And then she ended up taking me out of the school, and I got an evaluation at another school. But I say that because this is for the young man or the young woman that they might have tried to label you with something, but there's more to you. Yes, you might find it difficult to do certain things, but that has no hold on the capacity of power that's inside of you. So if you find it difficult in school, and I wouldn't say I found it difficult in school, I just found other things more entertaining. So
Yeah.
for the person that finds other things entertaining, guess what? I'm not telling you not to find those things entertaining. I'm telling you to learn to prioritize, learn to put things in the right place at the right time, and understanding who you are during this time, or that parent that has a child that's having a difficult time.
Hmm.
Don't just chastise them. Give them an opportunity to really be transparent with you. Give them an opportunity to really be there and understand. Really watch them. Because I was fortunate. My mom knew who I was on certain
Yeah.
levels. You know what I mean? So to see her son, she's like, "Nah, get out of here." You know what I mean? So it's a privilege. It's a privilege to see that, to hear that, and to know where I'm at today. I see it, I know it, I understand, and I really appreciate it. And my appreciation is the fact that I was able to go through it and share. And that sharing is almost or a map to where you could be, or GPS to where you want to go. It's all up to you, but I believe it's here for you. It's here for everybody.
Hmm. Well, go mom. I think that's amazing to the parents listening. I hope that this gives them an opportunity to not take what everybody says as the truth, right?
Mhm.
Like it's our job to discern for ourselves what information we listen to and what information we don't,
Yeah.
what we accept and what we reject. And that is very much a theme in your book, you know, living unapologetically,
Mhm.
speaking your bold truth, releasing old narratives. And throughout this series, you've given us many practical ways for us to step into that power. The books themselves absolutely create a roadmap for that. How will we know when we've achieved it? What will start to look and feel differently in our lives when we are living unapologetically? How will we know we are on the right track?
So I'll take you. I remember my first child, right? She's going to be 16 this year. And I was reminded to the fact that while you're inside of your mother's womb, you're living in water, in the amniotic sac. It's holding you. That's where you eat. That's where you sleep. That's where you breathe. But the moment you come out of that amniotic sac, moment that you leave your mother's womb, you can never go back. The day that your eyes open, when they truly open, you can't unsee it. It's going to drive you. It's going to motivate you. It's going to inspire you. You're going to look crazy. You people are going to think you're gone mad, because I was able to see things at a very early age. I was able to see things, far-fetched things in different ways. And the moment that I said it bothered me that nobody else saw that. It bothered me that the society seems backwards almost. It's like it's upside down. And I'm like, what am I doing here? And I say that because it is the simplest way that I can put it to you, most visual and descriptive way that I can describe to you, that the moment that you can see and you know that you see, you will want to try to close your eyes. You will not be able to.
Mm.
And that is the moment that you will look like a lion pursuing its prey. It will change your perspective. It will change your trajectory. It will change the way you do things and the reason you do them. And the reason why I said that is because just this weekend, I think last week, Friday, I was sitting down and I was talking to some guys, and I was like, and I was doing numbers. I was working the calculations. I said, wow, I really sat down and wrote for 8 hours a day for 11 months straight.
Wow.
And I didn't even realize it.
You were just in your flow state.
And the funny thing about it is that I have so much more to tell. The more I wrote, the more clearer it became. The more I speak to you, the more I have to say. So the question is, how much do you really want to listen to?
Don't stop. I think that's what we're thinking. And I mean, some people call it flow state, when you just lose complete track of time and all sense of reality. You're just in your flow and doing what you do. And you might call it really being connected to that divine purpose. And I think that is one of the things that I've noticed, is when I know I'm in flow state, is that example, right? You didn't even realize you've been doing it all day. You've just been tapped into what you're meant to be doing, and it feels so natural and flowy and not like work. It just is. Mm-hmm. For someone listening to this and they think, I would love that. I would love to find my divine power. What are some practical steps that someone can take in January, in the new year, to start realigning with their deeper calling, or maybe even finding out what it is for the very first time?
Make it simple. Make it simple, because when I say writing, right, there are plenty of different ways to do so now. There's plenty of sources. But for me, it started with one text message. That's all it started with. So I say one text message because it was small, it was precise, it was intentional. And I did, after one, then came another, then came another, then came another, then came another. And I want to say thank you to anybody that's read it, to anybody that's chosen to go out and really listen, because starting simple is where it's going to take you. If you are an artist and you have ideas in your mind, And everything you see is in art. You can take a picture and you can start an album, right? That's a simple thing. You just snap a picture, snap a quick picture, snap two pictures, snap three pictures, snap four pictures. And that represents the images, the ideas that you have in your mind. But you got to start small. You got to start simple. And some people are going to, now, do not try to compare the size. And because I think that's going to be a big mistake. Don't try to pursue perfection, because perfection doesn't exist. Those that you're seeing $1 million mansions or whatever it is, that lifestyle that they're selling you, no, that's from a camera's perspective. That's not really from their perspective. And so, as I shared with you, I remember my first Christmas with my wife. I was homeless, but there was something more valuable. I was thirsty for wisdom. I was thirsty. I was hungry for it. I had to have it by any means necessary. I was not comfortable where I was at. I could not sleep. I wanted it. And because I wanted it, I pursued it. So you have to start simple. You have to start small. You have to be practical. Do not wait for anybody else to come save you. Nobody else is coming. Nobody else is going to save you with the images you have in your mind. You have to be willing to draw that inspiration from it. You have to be willing to draw from the simple things. So if you're going to draw one picture. If you can't draw that picture, take pictures that will help create the image of the picture you have in your mind. And once you've done so, collect them, put them together. And once you've done so, you create a process. You create a step-by-step process. What I'm telling you is what every business out there is doing. They're paying millions of dollars for people to create SOPs, standard operating procedures. Yeah. Those that don't have it are drowning. They're wasting money left and right. But you have to start simple. Nobody's more important than you. You don't have to build. Rome wasn't built in a day. It wasn't built in a day. But I'm going to tell you right now, I had no clue that I wrote for 8 hours a day, 11 months. It didn't feel like it at all. 8 hours a day, 11 months straight. I didn't know when I did. And that's a minimum. But you have to start small. So step-by-step process. Whatever idea you have, you need to start small. Don't care how perfect or imperfect it is. Write it, move on to the next. Write it, move on to the next. Write it, move on to the next. Write it, move it on to the next. Take a picture, move on to the next. Sketch it, move on to the next. Sometimes you might think that you might have to read or you might have to do. Let me tell you, there's so much inside of you that you don't need the influences of others to contaminate with your form of inspiration. You might need knowledge of how to structure it, but whatever you have in your mind, put it down. Get it out of you quickly, because that will enable you to leverage what it is that you have. Because you have something, whatever you have, take it, put it to the side, put it in a box if you have to.
I love that. That is such like a practical, clear action that someone can take to just take that next step. And I think it's so good when we actually give people tangible things that they can do. Some people are really doers, but I know you also have so much wisdom to share from, a less tangible, more mindset standpoint. And so, Kevin, as we enter the new year, what is just one shift or one mindset you believe could truly transform the trajectory of somebody's life in 2026 if they were able to make that inner shift for themselves? Just one.
Your imagination, your dream, your vision, your goal, it's in your mind. It's in your head. because it's in your head, it will always knock on your head as a
Mm.
door. It will always seek your approval to come out. And I say that because what is in your head, to get it out there, it's going to require you to just move forward, no matter how messy. Like for me, one of the difficult things that I have found is cleaning, right? Cleaning messy rooms, especially if it's not mine. Now, I can easily go in there and just get a dumpster and just throw everything out. That would be the simplest thing for me to do. But what I would do is I would go in there and I would organize it before I decide to throw out. So even when I'm doing laundry, simple things like laundry, what I would do is I take long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, shorts, long pants, underwear, tights, whatever it is. But you got to categorize them. So for the new year, for anybody that's going to start something new, anybody that's going to venture into something new, or they want to change their trajectory, I think do not overwhelm yourself. I think you just need to start with one step.
Okay.
And I think that is it's enough. It's more than enough. Because that taking of one step will lead to another, will lead to another. But you need to focus on that one step. Be intentional with that one step. You don't need to tell anybody about it. You don't need to show anybody about it. But you need to take the step that you have in your mind. So if it's a book you want to lose or you want to read, or weight you want to lose, if it's a business you want to build, you don't have to do everything yourself. If it requires you paying somebody else to do certain things, be willing to do so. Because it is worth you paying somebody else than it being in your mind and never coming out. So changing that trajectory is going to require some effort. It's going to require some sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's 1 pound, if you want to lose 20 pounds, you got to start with one.
1 pound
And
at a time.
1 pound at a time. So whatever you want to build, start with one. Wherever you want to go, start with one.
You've given us so many messages, steps that we can take heading into the new year, which I really appreciated. If you could offer a single New Year's message, like almost like a wish you have for somebody listening to just kick off their year, a wish or a message that like you feel like really distills and captures the essence of your teaching from both of your books, The Audio Experience, Wisdom of the Ages, Unapologetic. What is your single message heading into the new year that you want to leave our listeners with in our final episode?
Wow. That's a mouthful right there. That was a really long question you had for that.
I know.
I said we are the culture we create before,
Mm-hmm.
but I am going to tell you the culture you're in, the society you're in, is only as valuable as you allow yourself to be. The country you live in means nothing without you. The family you're part of means nothing without you.
Hmm.
The relationships that you're in means nothing without you. Even the books on those shelves mean nothing unless you decide to read. You are valuable. You are important. Every man, every woman, every child, every politician, every armed guard, every truck driver. You are important. You are valuable. And I think people don't hear this enough. That Sam, you are valuable, you are important. That what's in your mind is worth hearing, seeing. What you have in your heart is important, worth discovering. You are important. So if there's anything else, you are important.
You are important. You are value. You are you. I love
Yeah.
that so much, Kevin. You've walked us through a journey. This has been a very powerful series. And even 7 episodes in, we're hearing new wisdom. I'm sure there's another book coming where before you know it, it'll be a year of writing 10 hours a day, every day for a month, and see what comes out. So thank you for always aiming to uplift us. Thanks for challenging us as well, challenging our beliefs. And even if it's not easy to hear, like you're the one who's trying to tell us the truth and share that. So for those who've been listening to this entire series, look forward. Unapologetic will be arriving this Christmas season. We are going to have an experience that also includes an audiobook just in time for the new year. So may this season bring clarity, renewal, and the courage to boldly step into your authentic self. Kevin, thank you so much.
With love, embrace, I greet you.